An order formed on Christmas in the year 1119. The King of Jerusalem, Baldwin II, persuaded a group of French knights led by Hugh de Payne II to save their souls by protecting Christian pilgrims traveling to the Holy Land. And over the next 900 years, they have been associated with the Holy Grail, the Freemasons, and the occult. I'm, of course, talking about the Knights Templar. I'm your host, Casey.
I'm Mike.
And I'm Joe.
So tell us about it, Joseph. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Well, I know they're knights, and
our California Knights Templar self-proclaimed expert.
Well, I know they're knights of the Templar. I don't know, Casey. Why don't you tell me? Like I know all this stuff, but why don't you explain it for everybody else?
Explain what?
About the Knights Templar, who they are.
The Knights Templar, you said, known as the God's Warriors or the Devil's Bankers. They wore distinctive white mantle decorated with the red cross. They became very wealthy, owned property all over Europe and the Middle East, and started up a primitive international banking system.
They were covered in welts. They were very wealthy.
Yeah. The knights, they all had to take 3 common vows. They had to be free of debt, unmarried, and of legitimate birth. No bastards were among God's knights.
So they weren't allowed to be married. Were they allowed to have sex, just not to be married?
Well, they were supposed to be living as monks, so they were supposed to be taking vows of poverty and chastity. So I'm assuming they weren't supposed to be fucking, but I'm sure they were.
Well, much like the Catholic Church, they probably had a bevy of boys.
Boy or two on the side.
A bevy of boys. That is not funny.
They probably did too back in the day. It's fucked up.
Oh yeah, 100%. They were probably you can't trust like soldiers and shit. They probably were doing some kind of raping and other shit.
Yeah, and so these monks, they would take up arms as knights, and they would protect civilians using the dangerous roads to get to the freshly conquered kingdom of Jerusalem, and this would grow to become one of the main Christian military forces of the Crusades.
This is crucial information.
Welcome back, Mike.
Shut the
Crusades.
Sorry.
So the Crusades, they ended in 1292 after the hold on. I looked up how to say this earlier.
So is this episode about Indiana Jones? Because that's what I was expecting.
So Mike watched every Indiana Jones movie before.
No, I just watched The Last Crusade 3 times.
Interesting. You got like fucking 10 pages of notes on it.
Just like fuck. No. What I've been watching lately is all the Quentin Tarantino movies. So if you want to do that movie podcast about Quentin Tarantino soon, that'd be dope.
Yeah, like I'm your guy. I got it.
Never mind, I just wrote a typo. I'm a fucking idiot. So anyway, the Christian capital of Acre fell to the Mameluke forces of Egypt after the Templars were no longer needed, since they were only there to defend the Holy Land. And French King Philip IV. These are just some quick facts. We'll go deeper into these things. But French King Philip IV, he was in debt to the Templar, and after he lost the Holy Land, he had the Templars arrested on Friday the 13th, 1307, in a raid on their
Is that where
Paris temple
that
and in their
comes
homes.
from? That it's
For what?
that it's an unlucky day, Friday the 13th. Does it come from that?
Some people say it does, and then there's a I couldn't tell you what the thing is, but there's a book that was written later about I think it was probably about a black cat or some shit. And
Yeah,
an
look,
unlucky day, and then that's what they said is where the unlucky day for Friday the 13th came from too. But
I'm looking at this
the
picture
Templars were around longer.
of this
Go ahead,
Knights Templar thing. And I just want to say, look at this picture, but I just noticed there's a fucking baby laying resting on this horse. And I don't know.
Where?
Right there. Here, I'll send you. I'll send you guys the picture if I can, if it'll let me save it. Like
At the bottom.
Yeah, the fucking one just the fucking horse. Do you see the and then
why is that brown horse's neck turned all cockeyed like that? Is it broken?
I think it's looking at the baby like, oh,
oh, I just stepped on that. Ew, it's on my hoof.
Ew. Do you see at the top?
If you look in the corner, though, the top right, there's a baby impaled.
Oh, is there a baby impaled? Holy shit, there is a baby impaled. What the fuck?
Oh, there's a baby head too on the top right.
What the fuck? They really in the
babies can we find in here?
It's like a it's like a Where's Waldo for fucking mutilated babies.
On the top right though, where there's a knight in a red shirt, but why is that horse's ass so fat right there?
No, that's what I was saying. I thought it was a girl with a big fat ass, and it's a fucking knight on a horse.
What you gonna do with a big fat butt?
Never surrender for God.
Look at the horse on the left side behind the main knight. There's a girl in a red shirt, or a knight in the red shirt, but the horse's head's super tiny. That's not even proportionate.
It's got the opposite of Down syndrome. It's got up syndrome. I don't think that should be kept on. That's gonna get us in trouble.
Probably. So in 1312, the order was abolished by decree, and in 1314, the last Grand Master Jacques de Molay was burned at the stake, with 3 other Templars being accused of heresy, blasphemy, and sexual misconduct.
Ooh.
But though in 2001, a document known as the Chinon parchment was found in the Vatican's archive, proving the Templars were exonerated by the Catholic Church in 1312, but Pope Clement ordered that it be disbanded anyway. That parchment showed that the Templars were not guilty of heresy, but guilty of lesser infractions of the church law. What were you gonna say though? Sorry.
Oh no, I wasn't gonna say any. I was just gonna make another joke, circling back to the beginning when we said they had a boy or two on the side.
I just want to bring it back to that topic real quick.
Focus on that.
How old?
This is why Pizzagate is here.
Damn Templars. But in the early days of the church, the popes did preserve manuscripts describing their reign, but they used the papyrus like they did. Well, obviously that they did in Egypt. The same leaves and stuff before the invention of paper. But due to the frequent changes of residencies and the documents being a fragile the fuck's the word I'm looking for? Material. That's Jesus. A fragile material. That means that just because a lot of it was lost due to just degradation, basically. And 9 centuries after they were formed, the Templars still remain the most iconic order to ever come out of the Crusades. The legacy spread beyond their medieval military rolls.
Here's a fun little thing. Not all of them were knights. At any one point, there were a couple hundred true knights within the Templar. And the rest were just memberships made up of infantry soldiers and non-combatants, including squires, priests, laborers, and even women.
And what were the jobs that those women were entrusted to do?
Head.
No, no, they're there to cook and wash the clothes. That's what the women were for, and obviously to fuck too, I'm sure. But
this is all just
if such things were allowed. I mean, not everybody was under the knights' rule. I'm sure the infantrymen, because only the knights were riding the horses. The people who were the knights, the Templar knights, they were the ones on the horses. All the foot soldiers, they weren't knights or anything like that. They were just infantrymen.
Yeah, apparently they hired mercenary armies too to back them up, especially during the time of the Crusades.
When they were fighting the infidels,
they've recruited help from the
I saw you grin.
Turcopoles. I don't know how you say that word. Anatolian light cavalry and horse archer units made up of Christianized Sayuks. I can't say that. And Middle Eastern Orthodox Christians. Some of them would go to join the Templars officially as non-knighted combatants, known as sergeants or surgeons. Surgeons? Spelled like sergeants? I don't know. That seemed like a fun fact. I didn't think that they were hiring mercenaries in their ranks.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. I knew because I knew not all of them were obviously Templar, but I thought they were like recruiting people, like I thought, join the cause. Hope you help your fellow Christian brother.
Look here, brother. We're all brothers under the same brother God. And he's the cream of the crop, don't you know? He was a burning bush, yeah.
Yeah. So, the story starts back at the First Crusades in 1095 when Pope Urban II called for European Christians to stop fighting each other and to retake the Holy Land from the Muslims. This speech sent thousands of knights, infantrymen, and large supporting workforce across Europe, resulting in the taking of Jerusalem in 1099. But it wasn't a unified army. Many of the knights behaved shamefully and did not live up to their chivalry and charity ways. Even towards their fellow Christians, they've acted this way.
I'm sorry. This is another one, and this is.
I thought you were laughing at that last.
No. I was just apparently a lot of knights sported long beards. It wasn't like required, but their lifestyle, like it was, couldn't really shave. They ended up like growing out like huge beards, and it became popular. And a large beard turned into one defining characteristics of the Templars' appearance, even earning them the nickname of the Order of the Bearded Brethren. That's why I laughed. It's like a nickname they had. But then later,
a dope nickname though.
Yeah, that is. But it's just funny. It's because like the picture of the guy kind of looks like a bald Jesus or a balding Jesus. But after they were getting on the political fucking whatever, like they were the target of all that shit you were talking about before. Weren't you talking about that? I don't know.
Hold on 1 sec. Give me 1 sec. Hold on. Sorry.
Well, anyways, when they were under the fucking when they were targets of all like the political shit, whatever, a lot of them started shaving their beards to avoid detection and capture. So they were like, "I am not a Knights Templar. See my baby face." Yeah, we got the wrong guy. Sorry. That's just hella
They call
funny.
me Babyface Bob.
The babyface Bob. I would be a Knights
Bearded
Templar.
face Bob.
What are you doing capturing those men? Their their faces are as smooth as a baby's bottom. Let's go.
You're right.
One of them still wearing the fucking. No poor man.
No poor man can afford to shave this close.
And then like they have the fucking cross on their shirt, and they fucking it's like, oh shit, they find some paint and just smear it around so it's a circle around it.
They just draw a square so it's a window.
Yeah.
So the Templars started out as there were about 10 French knights escorting pilgrims from the Mediterranean coast to the holy city of Jerusalem and other sites in the area as well, such as Nazarene and what have you, whatever else is around there. And I don't know the names off that. I should have wrote them down, but I'm a lazy note taker. But the Muslims soon they regroup and begin to take the land back, which led to the Second Crusade. And by this time, the Christians realized in order to maintain their hold on Jerusalem and keep their passages to the city safe, they needed to form a more organized and permanent military presence. And thus, Knights Templar.
That's the longest fucking pause in a moment. The Knights Templar. So I'm on the history channel's webpage, and I'm looking at fun facts, and apparently they could only have meat 3 times a week, except on special holidays, since eating flesh was understood to corrupt the body.
So you can only have it half the week. You only be half corrupt. So
you sick fuck! How many days have you been eating that turkey?
There's a saint called Bernard of Clairvaux, and it was written in 1128 in his rule for the order in praise of the new knighthood. Bernard of Clairvaux called these fighting men Knights of Christ. He envisioned them as monk warriors. The Templars and other orders at first saw the task as fighting to protect pilgrims in the Holy Land, and even meant taking up arms while still holding to the 3 traditional monk mace. God, I can't fucking talk right now. Hold on one second. Let me see how to say this. Monastic vows of poverty, chastity, obedience. Later, it meant protecting the faith of internal threats caused by heretics, once again by violence if necessary. He is also quoted saying his knights are gentler than lambs, yet fiercer than lions. I do not know if it would be more appropriate to refer them as monks or soldiers, unless perhaps it would be better to recognize them as being both. He described the model Templar as truly a fearless knight and secure on every side, for his soul is protected by armor of faith, just as his body was protected by armor of steel. Bernard also drew on the just war tradition to say that in certain circumstances, Templar violence was permitted and not sinful. If he fights for good reason, Bernard wrote, the issue of his fight can never be evil. Elsewhere in his rule for the Templars, Bernard stated, to inflict death or to die for Christ is no sin, but rather an abundant claim to glory. So for the Templars, fighting the infidel, the unfaithful ones, meant the Muslims in the Holy Land. Basically, the infidels were anybody who didn't believe in Christ, who wasn't Christian. That's who they considered the infidels, and that's why the Muslims are called the infidels in this thing, because they're the ones main combating with the Christians for the Jerusalem.
It's funny that you're saying that because I'm just reading this thing on the History Channel thing. It's saying that some scholars thought that the Knights Templar helped import Muslim ideas that transformed Western legal and educational systems. Like the ends of court and London legal institutions formed in a medieval period with ties to the Templars have some striking similarities to madrasas built from mosques where Sunni, is that how you say that? Scholars debated the law. So apparently they stole like Muslim ideas and shit to like that, you know.
As they always do.
Hey, Mike's back with a different background.
There's probably a little black couch in the background. I don't know how much you know of.
I honestly don't
The
know that
Knights.
much about the Knights Templar. The most I know about it is from Assassin's Creed, so and Indiana Jones and shit like that.
No National Treasure? That one never popped up in your little mind?
National Treasure, Da Vinci Code, you know.
National Treasure, Da Vinci Code, yep. Those are all...
Dude, these things are amazing.
What are the...
Blackberry ginger ale.
Did your tummy hurt?
Yeah, actually it does. Like, it's no bueno. No bueno. But excessive amounts of alcohol, really, I don't want any of that.
I'm not.
Not right now.
Once you check off the Japanese girls puking in each other's mouths, you can't exactly go back to Playboy.
No, I don't want to smell it. I'm sure I don't want.
That was like perfect because he's like, nah, I don't want to smell it. Right after you're talking about the Japanese puking in each other's mouth porn.
No, he has a glass of cognac. My nephew, and it's like
Cognac?
yeah.
Go get some pussy. Bet you won't drink some.
Not right now. I won't.
But chug it.
No.
No, man. I need to recover a little bit. When I'm this hungover, like if I take a sip of a beer, I'll puke. Like
These ones suck.
So let's get into this.
Yeah, they're
So about this point, we're into the Second Crusades right now. We got to let me just give you a little recap. So the First Crusades, the Christians wanted to take back the Holy Land from the Muslims, which they end up doing, but they ended up doing it, with not like a unified army. So they a lot of the knights were behaving shamefully and all this shit, and then they were losing the land, which that's when the Second Crusades happened, and that's when old Saint Bernard threw his speech out there, and after that, then the army became unified, and then they took back the Holy Land. And
Did Saint Bernard have power over snakes too? Or is that
probably
just like only Saint Patty has that?
Just little boy snakes, though.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, not full grown ones. They had their mind of their own.
He was a whittle. He was a whittle willy warrior. Wielder?
But yeah, and so basically the Templars they were created to protect the Christian people going into the Holy Land.
Dudes, check this out.
That's about... See, Mike, and then the one day you're hungover, you have a bevy of alcohol right in front of your face.
Bevy of
I come over here every Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Every Monday you're hungover and you have a bevy of alcohol.
No, I'll drink tomorrow. I'm just not gonna drink today.
So at this point the knights, they had as many as 900 soldiers, but not all of them were knights and noble. Many of them fought on foot as infantry for the knights. So they're probably just, your run-of-the-mill farmers and shit.
Yeah.
That they were probably like, oh, I'll pay you this if you come fucking fight for us for a little bit. But they also had blacksmith squires, women to cook and do the laundry, and armorers as well.
Naturally.
I like to. We talked a little bit about this. I was just giving you a little quick little brief.
Yeah, if you want to just go to where you're at now, I'll just hop in.
Well, yeah, that's what basically because my notes are kind of like sporadic a little bit. So,
yeah,
and Joe brought up some of the stuff too. So, because he's out there digging through the archives of the internet.
Nice.
Last minute research.
There was a nice little beard tidbit.
Oh yeah, you should tell him. You should. Oh, I guess he can just listen to it actually when he goes and edits. Don't spoil it. He can hear it later. But go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, the thing actually, I don't know. It just seems like randomly out of place. I feel like I'm just saying stuff randomly out of place.
You can, it's fine. It doesn't. I mean, you kind of do it all the time.
Why don't you eat my asshole?
I like all the time, but like I mean, you like randomly, like you'll be looking up stuff and you're like, oh, this is interesting. Like not a bad thing, but you do it though. I don't know if I sound like a dick saying that. That's not how I'm trying to put it off.
No, that's exactly what it is. You get to judge me sitting here drinking your Bud Light, judging me. Are you drinking a Bud Light? Is that what that is?
No, it's a Hurricane.
Oh, you're a fucking liar. I recognize that shade of blue.
I recognize that shade of blue anywhere. It's the new label. It says Bud Light to trick the police so when you get pulled over, they don't think you're that fucked up.
They think you're just drinking water.
Yeah, they just think you're just recovering.
So, that must be a hangover beer. I see you got the tomato juice next to you. Yeah, good eye. The tomato juice.
I was a cop and I pulled someone over in the morning and they just had like a Bud Light at their thing and they're like, oh, fuck, I'm going to jail. Drinking, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, that's a hangover beer. You have yourself a good day, son. And just walk away and drive away. That person would probably end up killing someone. I'd get arrested too.
Yeah.
So this shit I just thought was funny. They weren't allowed to wear fur and fancy clothes, and they weren't allowed to wear fucking pointed shoes and shoelaces.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're abominable things that belong to pagans. Yeah. So
shoelace.
Shoelaces and pointy shoes. It's like they think it's a pagan thing. And then the whole chastity thing you're talking about, how they couldn't be married and everything. It's they weren't even allowed to kiss women. They couldn't even kiss their own mom. And if they broke those rules, they could get beat and be banished from the brotherhood or have to eat their meals on the floor like a dog.
I've read about this. We've talked about this before, haven't we?
I have no idea, but I
thought we
had.
have.
Hilarious to me.
That's hella funny.
You kissed your mom? My mom's sick, okay? She's not feeling good. She wanted a kiss from her son. It's like, oh, that's fine. Hope you enjoy your meat for the third time this week. Third and final time this week on the floor. Get on the floor, bad boy. And he just grabs him by the ear. Get down there. Get down there, Jedediah.
Maybe Dad was the Templar. That's why he got so mad when I was eating my spaghetti. You want to eat your spaghetti like an animal?
You walked in and he seen you had pointy shoes, and then Pagan, not in my house, you filthy dog. Yeah, that's actually the other thing. It says,
hey Mike, if you just want to like, I don't know if you can just censor out name, so that's not in there, but I don't know because I don't know if he listens or not. I've sent him a link before.
Yeah, so Another thing it says is, yeah, you can't eat your spaghetti fast or you'll be referred to as a dog. You have to eat on the floor. Was it spaghetti?
Yeah, it was spaghetti.
Okay, yeah.
He didn't call me a dog. He said I was eating like a dog.
Oh, because you're have the bowl up.
Yeah, I had it up to my snout.
Goddamn, McGregor's eating putting the bowls to their snouts.
But the Templars, they reported directly to the Pope, and they were exempt from paying taxes, which was a big deal because they started collecting large amounts of land from the people that they were taking on these pilgrimages. They would take these people, take them down to the Holy Land, but keep their property, and they would farm their property, sell the work the land and whatnot, and
Naturally.
profit off the property, but not pay these people anything. They're just taking care of it, watching it. They're keeping an eye on it.
That sounds like the church.
They were led by a Grand Master who was chosen.
Yoda, Grandmaster Yoda,
who was chosen amongst themselves by vote.
No, these are the more kind of Grand Masters with the pointy hats.
Those are Grand Dragons.
Oh, is it? Okay. you would know.
As we know of any secret society, all their deliberations and votes were all held in secrecy. And so after a while, the Muslims, they began to systematically take back the Holy Land, slowly at a time, and then ended up being there was treaties negotiated between them and the Christians for safe passage of the pilgrims that were coming. And at this point, because there was no need for a military force to defend the city if everybody was all chill with each other, so there was no use for the Templars anymore, which
so this
led
city, is this Vatican City or
Jerusalem.
Okay.
And after the Muslims and the Christians chilled out and they got their treaties going, there was no use for the Templars anymore, which led to the end of their reign in the Holy City.
When did they set up shop in Italy?
In old Italy. You're asking me questions that I don't have the answer to right off the top of my head.
Let's just continue and see if we find it.
Okay.
I didn't do any research. I was too hungover.
Surprise! Since you guys every fucking amount of research that I did. Cunt. No, just kidding.
Fuck off, Casey.
Anyway, but with no need to fight in the Holy Land, the Templars turned from military affairs and turned to the world of finance, estate management, trade, banking, and overseeing investments along their network of tax-exempt properties all throughout Europe. They were more than likely to have been the richest operation in the Middle Ages at the time.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
And with all great things, you also make some enemies. And the worst one being King Philip IV, the King of France, also known as Philip the Fair, who reigned from 1285 to 1314. He had begun to try to control the church in France by taxing the clergy without papal permission, without the Pope's permission, basically.
Papal?
Papal? Is that how you say it?
I think so.
I wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Because it's I wasn't sure if it was PAL.
There's a big church in Doctor Who that is goes through across the galaxy or whatever. It's called the Papal Mainframe.
Yeah, maybe then.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. That's how.
I mean, that could just be how the English say it. I don't fucking know. We say things differently.
Yeah, I have no idea.
But I think it's papal. That's how they say it on that. And that being a giant fucking outer space church thing. Papal.
But what was I gonna say? But Philip the Fair. I don't know how he got this name, but he was in a towering debt to the Templars, and he was trying to weasel his way out of repaying them. So that's when he accused the Templars of losing the Holy Land and not living up to their own high standards. He also accused them of black magic, sodomy, and desecration of the cross, and Eucharist.
That doesn't sound very fair. Him trying to weasel out of a deal.
No, I don't think I'm gonna pay you guys back. This is why I'm gonna tell you why, because you guys are guilty of all this shit.
Yeah.
Burn them at the cross, which they did. But then, soon after, the king ordered the mass arrest of the Templars in October 13th, 1307, which we talked about a little bit. And oh yeah, that's what you were talking about, Mike. That's where some people claim the root of the feared calendar date.
Huh.
But that's when they went to the Grand Master Jacques de Molay. He was burned at the stake. Him along with three other fellers.
That just sounds delicious. I love mole sauce.
But Grand Master Jacques de Molay supposedly issued a curse that would meet Pope Clement and King Philip with God within a year. He intended both the Pope and King to die, and they did shortly after. So he cursed them right before he died, and then they ended up dying.
How'd they die? Did they die mysteriously from sickness? Did they get poisoned?
Let me see. Let me look up his actual curse that he did. But I think he said they were gonna die a certain way, and they ended up dying that way.
Oh, so he could have caused this, had someone fucking do him in.
Curse. I found this curse, Mike.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So as he was being burned alive, he is said to invoke a curse, calling to Christ to prove the order's innocence and bring its prosecutors to judgment of God. Thus, the institution of the order was destroyed. But it was just 33 days after he said this curse, Pope Clement died, and 7 months later, King Philip became gravely ill and passed away on the 29th of November. And over the next decade, how do you say this? Capitan dynasty, of which King Philip was a part of, has staggered to its end, and each one of Philip's childless sons briefly became king and then died.
That was perfectly timed, Joe.
So that was the curse.
Sounds like the back of the.
It sounds like the Kennedy curse from back. That you heard of that? Where the Jews put the curse on the Kennedys.
Is that actually what the curse is supposed to be from?
Yeah, because one of the Kennedys was a Nazi sympathizer back in the day.
Oh, okay. I've heard of the curse of the Kennedys, but I didn't know any of the details of it.
Yeah,
they all just
fuck with the Jews, man.
They all just kept dying left and right.
Yeah.
Well, that was all my background information.
So
we
what
can now we can talk about the conspiracies that have arisen around them, and I'm sure everybody has a little bit of input they could put in. So Casey's not just talking this whole fucking time.
He thought wrong. No.
I don't know any of the conspiracies.
No, it's once you tell me a conspiracy, yeah, I'm going to talk about it.
Have you ever heard of the Temple Mount?
The what? The
exactly. Neither have I. Yeah, neither have I. Don't worry. I'm just going to blow through these, and we're just going to talk about one so that everybody has an idea. I have no idea. I didn't look into it.
Is it like Temple of Doom or
possibly? I was thinking more of a Mount Olympus thing. They're just it's like a little like a temple on top of a hill. Like in Hercules.
Yeah.
where he goes and meets
There's some,
the
like,
Temple of Zeus or whatever, not Mount Olympus.
there's
That's where
some
they
like
all hang
Doctor
out.
Evil type lair at the top of a mountain.
Yeah.
Just,
Okay, so everyone's heard of the Ark of the Covenant.
that's wait, what?
The Ark of the Covenant?
Is that where it said it is? Or you were saying that's another one?
That's a different one. They said the Templars have been said to have had their fingers delved into that.
They've
Yeah,
had them
so have the Nazis.
Maybe they're one of the same.
Well, I know it melted a bunch of Nazi faces off. I saw it in a documentary I watched.
You're
About
gonna
this
have to
badass college professor.
send me a link so I can check it out. The Templars have also been said to have been keepers of the Holy Grail, the True Cross, the Shroud of Turin, and
pretty much everything having to do with Jesus.
yeah, basically any holy relic, really.
Yeah,
But they've also said that they've also have a giant fortune that's hidden.
I believe that.
I say let the listeners just play Assassin's Creed. Fuck this.
Yeah.
I never actually played the story mode in Assassin's Creed. I've only ever just played at people's houses and just just jumped off of buildings and killed people and whatnot, and did shit like that. But is it pretty spot on history wise?
Oh, I don't know. I like the idea of it
it's
more.
Like there's history in it, but they add a shit ton of stuff to it, to the history.
Well, I'm sure it's not all they got to put some fake shit in there. They're not gonna.
Yeah, like the earlier Assassin's Creeds, not like the later ones are. I think they're historically accurate, except for all the Assassin and Templar shit.
I actually never really beat one.
Oh, I've beat them all.
Have you guys heard of Oak Island?
Is that an island full of oaks?
Oh shit! They're on to us.
You guys never heard of the Curse of Oak Island? They have a whole. I think it's on the History Channel. They have a fucking show about it. They try to dig up this treasure on this fucking island, but they never can get to it.
Why can't they get to it?
Never heard of it.
Oh my!
There's too much oak. They can't get past all the oak. It's just
you gotta remember, you're the one who knows all the obscure fucking conspiracies.
This is on normal television.
It's History Channel. That's not normal television. There's a lot of conspiracy shit on History Channel, and
that is true. Ancient aliens and
yeah, I mean,
well, they got modern marvels and stuff. But anyway, yeah. So Oak Island, there's a treasure, but they can't get to it because there's a whole bunch of sinkholes and whatnot, and tunnels and flood things. And every time they try to get close, it fills up with water, and people have died trying to dig for it or whatever. But anyway, they say that the Templars buried their treasure underneath there, and that's why it's so hard to get to, because they instilled traps. They made it so it would be hard if people tried to dig into it.
Where is this place?
Oak Island? Let me see. Oak
I just want to know what country it's in.
Canada. Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia, Canada. Okay. We'll get there.
We actually, Oak Island is actually one of the ideas that I have for on my big ass our big ass episode list. It's not organized or anything.
Oh yeah,
it's on there. One legend states that they magically appeared to turn the tide in Scotland, and that's where I guess the Templars they actually have they actually have a heavy presence. It's even to today of Templar stuff
in wars.
Yeah. Oh, Scotland.
Is this when Scotland went against the English trying to secede or something like that, or when they were fighting?
I'm not sure. I didn't.
English?
Yeah, I didn't dig into it.
Yeah, I don't know much of Scottish history, unfortunately.
Another conspiracy claims that they crossed the Atlantic Ocean before Columbus to hide their vast treasures in what we know now as North America.
I can believe that.
Yeah, especially because they're already traveling over the Mediterranean anyway, so they already had capability. And whether or not I don't know how big their ships were, but if they had all this treasure, they had to been some sort of decent size.
Mm-hmm. It'd have
Some
to
of
be.
the oh, go ahead.
If it's like a bunch of treasure, they'd have to be pretty big just to haul the weight. It's like a bunch of gold and shit.
Yeah, definitely. This shit's heavy as fuck. Some conspiracists tie the Templars in with the JFK assassination in 1963. Is that what you're? I don't know who said it in the background.
Oh,
But...
my nephew? No, he said that the Jews killed him because I was talking about the Kennedy guys.
Oh, okay. I remember something about JFK. Yeah, so they think that the Templars were involved with that.
For what reason?
You keep asking me these things, and I just
Like,
I didn't go deep into these things. The only ones that I only went deep into one of them, and we're getting to that. I was just throwing out, some random.
Yeah. Well, I guess
people...
if because Kennedy was trying to get rid of the FBI or the CIA or some shit like that, so I'm guessing if the Templars are still a thing, they'd probably be in those organizations, the ones that keep an eye on everyone.
Keep an eye, keep whoever has the most control.
Yeah.
And if Kennedy was trying to do away with it,
then that'd be a some of where their power comes from. So it's like, yep, nope, sorry, bye.
There's also
Kennedy found out about them, because it's supposed to be a secret order now, at least, and right, sort of like the Illuminati and shit like that.
Yeah, basically. Well,
and,
yeah, I mean they're technically not around anymore.
I know, but if they're still around today, then they're a secret order.
But Templar, I think, isn't there a conspiracy about them still being around?
Well, yeah, that's what we'll get to that.
I think that's where a lot of these conspiracies spawn from, and especially the JFK
I'm
one.
sorry.
That's modern history. But yeah,
that one kind of sounded like you, Joe. There's also ties to the Templars and involvement in 9/11.
Yeah.
If you guys look up that one, there's
pretty much anything that would somewhat seem like a false flag or any kind of political assassination, bro. See.
Well, there was I was listening to this podcast, Alien Theorist Theorizing, and he was going into he was like, oh, the original amount of Templars that were there, plus there was I don't know, 3 or whatever. I don't know. It ended up being 13, and then there was some, I don't know, it's just a bunch of math, but it all added up to, it all ended up being all 9/11 and shit. And I was like, that's pretty cool. I don't know if that makes them involved or if that's coincidence, but it'd be cool if it was. I mean, not cool if it was, but I mean, it'd be cool, if there was a conspiracy. Not cool that they did it, but
it'd be interesting that it came from a secret organization, is what it would be.
They also say that Templars were created by an organization called the Priority of Sion to excavate in Jerusalem and to find information about the bloodline of Christ.
Wait, they built what? They said a word at the beginning. I didn't know what you said.
Zion.
The Templars were the Templars were created by an organization called the Priority of Sion.
Okay.
Zion, baby.
So they created
I thought you said that the Templars created something. Okay,
no.
but now yeah. So the Order of Sion, which is that's just
It's where
we already know what happened to his bloodline. It created Humperdoo.
Yeah. Humperdoo. Oh man.
Gotta love Garth Henderson.
Brilliantly played by Tyson Ritter on the AMC.
You okay, Casey?
Yeah, I was just stretching. I got a burp and it's like caught in my fucking stomach right now. But you know what you do with that? You just drink more beer and hopefully it comes up. I only got one more conspiracy. I thought one of you guys might have brought this up, but nobody said anything about it, which is pretty crazy. So
it's because we didn't know about it.
Yeah. But you guys do though. I know you do. I know you guys know about so they say the Templars never did just disband. They say they I mean obviously the ones that were killed, they disbanded, but
dismembered most likely.
The ones that they said that there were some that fled and then they ended up forming a new order. The Order of the Freemasons.
Oh. Okay. I have heard about that the Freemasons are the Knights Templar and shit.
Yeah, but I don't believe it.
What is a Freemason, Joseph? Tell us.
Fucking no, but
he's our North American Freemason correspondent, self-proclaimed expert.
I'm not. It's just the people that I know that are part of it just seems more like a boys' club than anything.
Oh, you actually know someone, huh?
No, it's two people.
Yeah, maybe more. I don't really fucking know. I mean, 3 if you count his old roommate.
Would they? Well, oh, I didn't know was.
Yeah, Bob was a Freemason, or I'm pretty sure he was a Freemason.
How do you become a Freemason?
You have to know somebody else that's a Freemason. They got to invite to it. But that's how, like those rappers I listened to. One of them was they invited other people in.
See, I envision
rappers are Freemasons.
I envision that probably a lot of like Freemason clubs that there are now are pretty much just fucking like clamper clubs. You know, the ECV.
Nope.
They're just fucking. They get together and drink and shit. And
yeah, I mean that's a. I don't know what they do at these meetings, but they have their little like dinners. You're not allowed to bring anybody with you, and they just
like
I don't know.
Like I know the clampers, they do like highway cleanups and a bunch of charities and shit like that. And I assume the fucking Freemasons also do that.
I assume so because the 2 people that I know that are Freemasons, I mean they're both a part of the volunteer firefighter thing. They're I mean they help out. They help people. They help out with shit. So
like, what is it though? Like what the fuck is a Freemason?
I never really asked questions.
So Freemasonry is a fraternal organization which developed out of the guilds of actual working stonemasons known as operative masons in the Middle Ages. These were highly skilled men who would travel long distances to build cathedrals and other landmarks, with early lodges being set up on building sites to accommodate them. Over the centuries, the era of operative masons began to wane, and slowly the guilds began to take in distinguished people who were not stonecutters and builders. These members became known as speculative.
Speculative?
Yes, masons. Exactly when and how the organization went from being made of literal operative masons to allegorical speculative masons is still a matter of debate. But the era of speculative Freemasonry, as we know today, a semi-secretive organization of a well-connected men, began in 1770 when a cluster of London lodges gathered in a tavern to create the first Grand Lodge. And that's where Freemasonry came from.
My dad's a Mason.
Lies.
No. Masonry, lath, and plaster. We do brick and stonework. Like literally, I've worked as a Mason. Not a Freemason. I guess I'm free, but we do kind of a. I know
the
free.
Like some of the rappers I listen to, they like talk about they study like Bible shit and other stuff. But
Sounds like
the only
sounds like some Knights
explanation I
Templar shit. No.
the only thing I had like heard about like any definition of it is whatever is that they help, like they're out to help like their fellow person. Pretty
At
much.
this point, it's probably just like a fucking church club with a cooler
I think
name.
that's honestly what I think it is now. Is just like it's a frat. It is a Christian frat. House. You said a fraternity. like so I was just like,
Fraternal.
Yeah, fraternal just means band,
fraternal.
like a band of men, I think. Or
yeah, I know, but I mean, it just seems like it's kind of like a fucking Christian frat house, but I don't really know. I
But
mean,
that's what
can't
it
really
is.
be
That's what is
quoted.
a frat house, though. It is a fraternity. It is
Yeah.
a band of men.
While we're getting
Or
high on drugs, they're getting
gonna be
high
men.
on Jesus.
Hell yeah, is what Jesus likes. Psst, only eat that meat 3 times a week.
He was talking about the boys.
Damn.
That's why consuming the meat was sinful. Or what'd you say?
Only eat that meat 3 times a week.
I guess there's only one way.
No.
We just
Why were they only able to eat meat 3 times a week, Joseph?
Because it was impure for some reason. I can't remember why now.
But that's what I was saying. That's why I was like, oh, it's a little boys because it's impure to eat it. So
I can't remember the exact
horrible
already.
Dude, so just because we went over them like really fast, I kind of want to go back to them. The fucking Holy Grail. And the
Yeah,
Ark
we
of
can
the
go back
Covenant.
through them.
Ark of the Covenant,
I was
shit
just-
like that. Like,
Let me just
the whole-
finish up this Freemason shit, though.
yeah.
And then we can go back into all that sexy stuff.
I mean,
However, it has been speculated that some of the knights escaped the savaging of the order to lay down roots elsewhere. Historians have speculated that the Templars, or a confession by one of the Templars, Jean de Chalon, who alleged some of the members of the order in Paris were giving word of the crackdown and managed to slip away in ships to parts unknown. And Scotland was the earliest speculative lodge, where the earliest speculative lodges formed. Centuries before London hosted its first Grand Lodge meeting in 1717, many have attempted to piece together the link between the Templars, who allegedly settled in Scotland and fought alongside Robert the Bruce in the Battle of Bannockburn, according to
Nice.
lore. So
Nice.
yeah, so
pretty
that's
fucking cool.
so that's if you believe that the Templars went into the Freemasonry, and which I think that like maybe not so, well, kind of maybe, but maybe not so much the Paris one, but more the Scotland one seems more legit to me in my eyes because it was around before the first Grand Lodge meeting in Paris, you know?
Yeah.
So there was already an established one out there. So I feel like if anything, that one would be the one. But I feel like maybe the Paris one is also, you know, like part of it too, but not like an original one, you know, like a branch of it, if you will. And what were you gonna say about the Holy Grail, though?
So the Holy Grail, that is Jesus's cup or something like that, right? That's what that's supposed
Yeah,
to
he
be.
used to wear it right underneath his robe.
Yeah, that's where he drank his what's that fucking his henny out of?
Okay, so like in the Last Crusade, I believe it's Last Crusade, right?
I don't know. I never
Or the
watched the
Temple of
last
Doom.
Mel Gibson movie.
No, in Indiana Jones.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about Jesus.
But
The Passion of Christ.
Yeah, or it's not. Was it that, or like in some form of media I watched, the Holy Grail, like if you drank from it, it's supposed to give you eternal life, or some shit like that.
What is the mythological weapon? There's some kind of like holy spear or something.
Oh, from like Constantine, the spear that killed
that pierced Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think Constantine took it from actual like a mythos thing.
Yeah,
Or maybe,
probably.
yeah.
The Templars probably have that. I'd guess.
So they say the Holy Grail is the cup that Jesus drank from during the Last Supper, and that cup held its blood and could still be hidden.
Okay, the
So
holy
that's what makes it
And
the
then
Holy Grail.
the shroud is
Probably
what
'cause
has
his
his blood
bloodline.
on it. Yeah, the shroud has his blood on it.
Yeah.
Wikipedia calls that. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead.
Hold on. Wikipedia is being a dick.
Stupid Wikipedia.
Wikipedia says it calls it the Holy Lance, also known as the Lance of Longinus, named after Saint Longinus. The Spear of Destiny, or the Holy Spear, is the lance that pierced the side of Jesus as he hung on the cross during the crucifixion. So it's the Holy Lance.
And then, so the shroud would have his blood on it, so they kept that. And then the cup, supposedly, the blood thing. But like
the true cross as well, they've said to have had that as well, which is that's the cross that Jesus was said to be crucified on.
Oh wow!
And then Temple Mount, I just looked it up because I wanted to know what it was. It's supposed to be the most holiest spot in all of Jerusalem. It's like a flat plaza surrounded by retaining walls. So it's just like a holy spot inside the city.
And then, what is the Ark of the Covenant? Because I just know it as a box that melts Nazi faces. I haven't seen Indiana Jones in a while. I should rewatch those.
Let's take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll start talking about the Ark of the Covenant.
Okay.
Described as a wooden chest covered in pure gold with an elaborately designed lid called the Mercury Seat. Mercy, sorry.
Yeah, I was reading it. You started reading it, so I stopped.
The Ark contained tombstone tablets of the Ten Commandments. Okay.
So they're Moses' tablets.
So basically, any religious relic that means anything connected to Jesus or fucking anything the fucking Templars have. That sounds like a little Vatican-y, you know what I mean?
It also contained Aaron's rod and a pot of manna.
Sick.
So they got magic up in this bitch. They got manna.
So wait, did they use Aaron's rod to dispel all of that manna?
I'm looking up Aaron's rod right now. So Aaron's rod refers to the walking stick that Moses, his brother Aaron, used in the Torah. So yeah, okay. And are these things supposed to have like fucking superpower type shit like they do in the movies?
No, it's probably just them suppressing knowledge or faking bullshit, for their own personal agenda. I don't know. I don't want to. Well, because I'm not religious at all, so I don't really care. But it doesn't. It just seems like a ploy to me to get the people, on their. Oh yeah, Jesus Christ! We have all these relics, but we're hiding them, keeping them safe.
Yeah.
I was looking at a copperette. According to the Hebrew Bible, the copperette, or mercy seat, was the gold lid placed on the Ark of the Covenant with two cherubim, I don't know, you said, beaten out of the ends to cover and create the space into which Yahweh. This isn't important. I was just looking at the highlighted words because I didn't know what the fuck that was.
Huh.
Yeah. It's, I guess, the lid to the thing.
So the other thing that's so the Ark of the Covenant, big fucking shiny ass gold box made of wood but plated in gold, supposedly held the two stone tablets that the 10 commandments are carved on, Moses' brother's walking stick, and manna, which is according to the Bible an edible substance which God provided the Israelites during their 40-year travel through the desert. So they're all
used when playing mana, or not mana, but fuck, God, I fucked up the joke. I just forgot the card name. It just spaced my head. Fuck it.
Oh.
Magic. That's what I meant to say.
But yeah, it seems to have more Moses stuff in it than Jesus stuff. Yeah, but so that's the Ark of the Covenant. Like, maybe it'll melt faces. I'm not sure. I'd have to test it on some Nazis if I can find it. Apparently, the Templars have it.
If you're looking for Nazis, you can just go to your local trailer park. I'm sure there's plenty. Can you imagine someone actually finding the fucking Holy Grail? It's like, oh my God, I finally found it after all these years. Why does it
The
smell
funny
like
thing
dried,
is,
why does it smell like dried semen?
oh my God. Dude,
His
the funny
friend
thing
sticks
is
his
like
finger
they'd
in
find
licks
it and they'd probably be like, cool, a cup.
And the guy rubs his finger across it and sticks it in his mouth. He's like, yep, that's 100% Middle Eastern semen.
Oh my God. What the fuck are those people who like test wines? They're called
I guess the
sommelier?
Templars
The fucking
did.
jizz sommelier.
I think they're called, yeah, I was going to say cum guzzlers. Yours had a nicer ring to it than mine did.
I guess there was a quest to track down the lost fleet of the Templars that set off in 1307 to an unknown location, carrying likewise their treasure.
Huh. Do you think they went down in a storm, or they went to America or went somewhere else?
You know, maybe half and half. Probably like a 50-50 kind of deal, like half of it lost.
They probably lost some ships. I don't know how big the fleet was, but they had to have lost at least one. Unless like they went through a really bad storm or some shit. But you said earlier that it's theorized they went to America.
Yeah, it said that they probably arrived before Columbus did.
Yeah. I can believe that, and then they just hid their fucking shit, that one sinkhole place that you were telling us about.
Oh, the fucking Oak Island in Nova Scotia.
Nova Scotia.
I feel like whenever you say Nova Scotia, you gotta say it. You gotta
with that Canadian
zazz on it, you know,
and Midwest accent thing.
We had the Knights Templars being involved in 9/11. So,
dude,
Eric Dubé, author of the Atlantean Conspiracy. Go ahead.
If they are still a fucking like a global powerhouse or you know, like a shadow government type thing, if they're still around and they're like that, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, I don't think 9/11 was faked or whatever, or like I don't think, like, I believe the events that happened on 9/11 the way that they're written. You know, I don't believe the conspiracies in that one. But there are some fishy things in it, but I don't know. I could believe it. Like, if they are a shadow government type thing, that they would fucking set up false flags and shit like that and do all sorts of shady shit.
Oh yeah. They well, it's also said that they were killed, obviously, to keep Jesus' bloodline a secret as well, which is why they would have all those relics and mysterious.
What? Why do they just want to keep his bloodline a secret in case someone can fucking test the blood, even though that wasn't a thing back then?
Because then everybody would know that it's the biggest scam.
Like, what? But back then you couldn't fucking test the blood. Like, what the fuck? Why? Maybe they were afraid that some people got a hold of his blood, would be able to. I don't know.
Well, they didn't want people to know that Jesus' bloodline eventually ended up with a bunch of Mormon people. Oh yeah. Even though I share blood with Jesus, I am a Mormon.
Dude, what do you think are the chances that the Templars are still around and they're a secret organization?
For sure, definitely. I would have to say maybe not the Templars themselves, but I would
But
say if they were
derivation of them.
yeah, like definitely, like I feel like there's probably a public Freemasonry kind of deal,
Casey, you
but
covered
then
And
there's
all
like,
yeah,
huh?
there's a secret one too.
this link you
Yeah.
say. You talked about all these.
Now you can. Did I?
What about you, Joe? What do you think are the chances?
What was the last one on there? The Templar founded U.S. Yeah, that one seems stupid.
No, but yeah, I think they'd be around. Well, I'd rather be called a Knights, like be a Knights Templar than a fucking Freemason. I don't know. I feel like it sounds cooler.
Well, especially since a fucking Mason is an actual job that's still around today. And if you like someone who doesn't know
That's
that
like
it's
saying I'm a free cobbler. Like, who gives a fuck? Oh, you're freely walking around fixing shoes. Fuck
I'm
off,
sorry,
bitch.
you said a free cobbler, and I just kept thinking of cobblers the food.
I did at first, and then I was like, "Oh yeah, shoot things."
Oh yeah, fucking shoes. Fuck yeah. I like Adam Sandler. You guys see that movie? He's like a
Yeah,
shoe guy.
Cobbler.
yeah, it's a good movie. I like
Yeah,
it.
what did he do? Did he put on other people's shoes and he turned into
I
them?
don't-
How did that go?
Yeah.
I can't
That's
remember.
what I don't remember.
That's what he did.
I just remember he had like a wall of shoes or some shit. That's all I remember. And he had a car underground or something. I don't know.
Like I think that they are I think it's doubtful that they're around, but they could be around in some capacity. Could be the founders of the fucking Illuminati or any other fucking type of shadow organization.
Government.
Yep.
Maybe they're actually lizard people. They're reptilians.
Yes.
Did we do an
But-
episode on the reptilians yet?
Not yet. You could throw that in on one of Matt's.
We will. Oh, okay. So, I mean, I guess that's all we got for the Freemasons. Or not the Freemasons, but the fuck were we talking about?
Knights Templar.
The Knights Templar. Yeah. Sorry, we just got off on the Freemasons. No,
Yeah.
that's all we got. I mean, you can dive deep into any conspiracy really and there's something that will trace back to the fucking Knights Templar, the Freemasons, or the Illuminati, or anything.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Is
So,
like
I mean,
one. This is
you can make a whole podcast about this.
Yeah, this is a definite organization that was around back in the day. It's just whether they're still around today. They could be. I don't think in the same capacity that they were. I don't even think that they'd probably still be called the Knights Templar. There could be an organization. There probably is an organization that is there to cover up all the fucking church's secrets and shit like that. I know there is.
Yeah,
There's
definitely.
yeah.
I mean, look at the Vatican. They're hiding so much shit.
Yeah,
Not telling anybody about.
In that capacity, I believe that the Knights Templar are still here, just fucking covering up all the Catholics fucking and Christians fucking bullshit that's happening at the Vatican, and with all the fucking priests, fucking kids and shit.
Yeah.
Like there's definitely a lot of fucking cover-ups, and I believe that it's probably probably a more of a task force or something like that is just out there fucking. There's people on the high up that I feel like the Pope is just the poster boy, and then there's people behind the scenes that are probably like, yeah, this is what's going on, this is the truth, but no one can ever know this type of thing. You know what I mean?
I think we should just switch our podcasts into one about our favorite show tunes, like this.
What the fuck? That's random. Do you have a show tune that you look?
God, I hope I get it.
Maybe.
I hope I get it.
No, because you were talking about that. It's random that I said it out loud, but you were talking about like a secret task force, and I was instantly thinking about that South Park episode where the vans run around because the priest is hanging out with
Oh
brothers,
yeah.
fucking everything up. And then I started thinking about like South Park in general, and started thinking about Randy again. And then I was thinking about the episode where he starts making plays or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because the
The
subliminal
blowjob play,
messages.
yeah, the subliminal message thing. So that's what I
The
was thinking.
woman
I
in
was,
light.
so
Yeah.
I started thinking like show tunes. And I was just, yeah.
Dude, like I think anybody that doesn't believe that there's probably some task force or organization that's out there fucking protecting the church in general and all their
Even
fucking
with like
scandals
whatever,
and
because
lies and bullshit
everybody
stuff like
knows
that.
what the church does, but everybody's just like, yeah, the church is the church.
We know what has gotten out and what hasn't been covered up or what they allowed to get out. You know, we don't know
Yeah.
everything. I'm sure there's some deep fucking secrets in the Catholic Church. Or any church. It doesn't have to be the Catholic Church. I was just saying Catholic Church because it's fucking, Knights Templar.
Because you hate Catholics. Let it out.
It's because of their little collars. They make me uneasy.
Give me wearing a little collar like that. How do you breathe? God, you're not an animal.
So, thank you guys for listening. I'm Mike.
I'm Joe. Judgmental Joe.
And I'm Curious Casey. Mm-hmm.